Yeah. You ready? Hey!
I need to kind of wake myself up. Good night, evening, whenever you watch this. Welcome to another episode of Midnight Chat. It's been a while, I'm aware. It's just been busy. Just been a very busy time trying to sort out the fundraiser. If you guys don't know what I'm working on right now, we are trying to raise £150,000 for TCS Network. So I pretty much spend every day doing that, and it's just very difficult. I'm traveling all over the place. Today I'm off to speak in London. Literally, as soon as I'm finished filming this, I've got to shoot off. So yeah, it's just a very tough time. But yeah, no, in case you're new to this segment, what we do is basically talk about really kind of deep and important issues that will help kind of business people thrive, but also people kind of thrive in their personal lives as well by proxy. And also, yeah, just anybody who's trying to be better. These kind of videos are geared to like help you along that journey. What I normally do is have a chat with somebody about something, and through the chat we basically, you know, come up with lots of different tools to help people kind of overcome various things. But obviously, if you haven't guessed, I'm alone today, which is fine. No one wanted to join me. Yeah, so I'm pulled out. But it's fine because what I'm talking about today is a personal thing anyways, so it actually works out that I'm doing it by myself. If you haven't guessed yet, the title is about negativity, and this video is basically about how to stop being negative, or how to kind of overcome negativity. And it's a very important video. You know, I think it's so important because, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I know so many negative people who aren't negative. Like, I don't think it's just like they just woke up and it's like, I'm gonna be negative. Well, in some sense, I think people have a kind of predisposition. So you have some people who kind of have a negative lean and some people have a positive lean. So I think that's true. But I think a lot of people become negative because of experiences. They've just gone through so much heartache, so much pain, so many issues, that now they're kind of at a stage where it's like, you know, whatever. And they have a kind of natural negativity around them. And it's a problem, especially if you're a business leader or creative. If you're negative, like typically negative, you are shooting yourself in the foot in so many ways that you don't quite understand. And you got to stay with me in the video to kind of find out what I'm trying to say. But firstly, you have to appreciate that it's a bad thing. I mean, negativity is a bad thing. Emotions are transient, which means they're meant to come and go. So it's okay to have negative moments, but if you kind of stay within negativity, kind of, you know, predominantly you're pessimistic, it's a problem. I used to be someone who's very pessimistic. I still am in some senses. I'm not very, so you can take away the pre-modifier, but there was a stage where I was very pessimistic. Like, everything's just gonna fail in my eyes. I'm like, it's not gonna fail. If someone just sings and they're amazing, I'll be like, it's okay. If like, I'm just kind of like the grumpy uncle, like, you know, nothing's good kind of thing, for a long time. And thanks to help of a mentor, but also just other friends, I've just managed to kind of, now I understand the power of positivity and why it's so important to be upbeat. You know, not motivation. I'm not advocating you be like a happy skip-go-lucky type of guy, no. But I'm saying that you cannot stay in a kind of a negative framework if you want to do well in life. You can't carry on being jealous of your friends, envious of people around you, you know, and you're trying to be better. It won't work. But oh, email. What's this? But yeah, to start off, negativity is basically, or negative thoughts rather, are kind of like it's a pattern of beliefs, essentially. You know, it's in my eyes, it's when you've experienced, you know, a number of different things, whether it be when you were super young or now, like you're old, middle-aged, whatever. And it's become nested in your personality. So someone who's negative is someone who, you know, has had negative moments, but somehow has made it into a pattern of belief, and now they kind of revel in negativity. So their natural predisposition is to be negative. You know, their natural response to positive news is negativity. These type of people tend to criticize people a lot. They over criticize people in their head. They love drama. You know, anything kind of, you know, any issue, anything go wrong is like, you know, that kind of stuff. typically they have a victim mentality. I know so many people who walk around with kind of victim mentality. You know, the world's out to get me, the world's so unfair, I've been so wrongly treated, so on and so forth. So that's another kind of feature. You also have people who always expect the worst. You know, I know people, some people I know just submit an essay. I'm gonna fail. And we all know these kind of people. You know, I'm gonna fail. It's the worst essay ever. You know, like, relax, bro. Like, they just always have a kind of negative expectation. Typically, it leads to feeling depressed. So people who are negative all the time typically are more prone to being depressed. Take things more personally. So, you know, a little joke that you might be saying amongst your friends, this guy or girl typically will take that joke and harbor in their heart for such a long time. And I guess lastly, negative people, I think, tend to dwell on bad news, right? So that's just a random list of stuff that, you know, the checklist to kind of help you to decipher whether you're negative or not. This is something I had to do. I had to kind of decide to myself, you know, looking at this list, I had to decide to myself, okay, cool, am I a negative person? And if I am, how do I go about solving it? You know, because that's the key thing here, is that if you're creative, you're an influencer or YouTuber, whatever it is, and you've got to really hustle. You know, you run a company or something that requires hustling and working hard. It's really, really tough to do that as a negative person. I mean, you might be fine. What I suspect is that some people will say, well, Mike, listen, I've been negative my whole life and I've been fine. You know, I've been okay. I've got a good job. I've got a good, you know, so on and so forth, which is good. I'm not saying you can't be successful and be negative. What I am saying is that the true joy that comes from, you know, chasing a certain goal and making the most of opportunities, that kind of stuff, you will absolutely miss out if you're a negative person. You know, the true joy of this whole kind of hustle, as it were, you miss out, you abscond if you are a negative person. So what I'm suggesting is that even though you might be happy with how you are now, there's a better place to be. And that better place, you know, comes in part from letting go of negativity and developing a new framework of living that makes you, you know, that gives you more confidence and strength and allows you to kind of take forward your life in a new way. So yeah, that's my opening. Let's jump into the actual negativity thing. So as somebody who has a long history of negativity, one of the major reasons I think a lot of us dwell in it is because it feels good. And you have to go with me a bit on this. Of course it's bad, you know, it's bad for you. Like, it's bad to just constantly, you know, living in fear, you know, just having negative thoughts in your head. But there's a small part of us, I think, that actually enjoys like nursing pain. You know, lying in bed and, you know, going on social media and just looking at people's profiles and just being like, she's not even that good looking, or he's not even that good. Like, a part of us enjoys that, and that's a very dangerous thing. You know, if you do it for long enough, it becomes a pattern of living, and straight after you meet somebody, you kind of tear them down in your head very quickly. You know, it's a very, very bad thing that, quite frankly, here I go, social media actually exacerbates and makes worse in a certain way. Because here's the thing, you know, if there's someone who annoys you, and we all have those people in our lives, you know, the way they behave or what they say, there's just something about them you're like, no, not for me. You know, in the normal world, or in the days of old, you meet them at an event, they annoy you for 2 hours, and then you're like, bye bye, and you're gone. You move back to, you know, Loughborough or, you know, Nottingham, wherever you're from. You travel back there, and you don't see them for months. Ka-ching. But with social media, especially something like Instagram or Twitter, after that person annoys you in this party or event and you go back home, you then get the joy of seeing them all over your phone again, popping up in different places, whether it be their tweets, their pictures. So like, you're so much more exposed to people, which heightens the propensity for your negativity to kind of to be expounded. You know, from having momentary meetings with people, you see them all the time now, all the time, and that just further builds this this thing in your head. You know, you see more of them. You're tearing them down more in your head. So you're actually rehearsing your negativity, and it's getting bigger. It's getting bigger. It's getting bigger. You're dwelling on bad news more. It's just a mess. So social media is just an amplifier. It's not bad in and of itself. It's just an amplifier, and in that sense, I guess what social media does is amplifies people's negativity if they're genuinely predisposed to negativity. You know, and what I'm suggesting to us is that there's a certain part of us that enjoys that thing, that enjoys that general downwardness. That makes no sense. That general what's what I'm looking for? I don't know what I'm looking for. I think you get what I'm trying to say. It's a real problem, and I became aware of it when someone pointed out in me. Because I didn't know. Like I said, if you live a certain way all your life, you don't. I mean, this is the way you live. But I remember, I think this is when I used to be part of Greenwich Young People's Council. We're going for a bid. Bear in mind, this wasn't like, for me, it was just a bid for a project we were going for. And like we applied for it and stuff. And like on the way home from the meeting, from the council meeting, I was vice chair of the council. So on the way home, I was having a chat about it with someone, and I was like, yeah, we probably won't get it. And he was like, why? And literally, I actually didn't have a response. See, like when you're so used to being negative, and then someone kind of probes you on it, and suddenly you're like, yeah. So like we just applied for a fund. This guy goes, you know, we're just walking around, and he's like, I'm really excited. And I was like, we're probably not gonna get it. He then asked me, why did you say that? And I literally had nothing to say. I was kind of like, you know, kind of thing. And that's when he was like, you know, you're really negative. And I was kind of like, you know, I had nothing to say because he was right. I was just genuinely negative for no reason. I mean, of course the grant may not go through, but it might go through. I mean, it's so mad for people to think, like, it might actually happen. You know, we get fed so much from the media of things not working, you know, so we kind of build up a kind of, you know, a script in our head that, okay, my life is not going to work out, things are not going to go my way, my project's going to flop. But listen, it does happen for some, like, it really does happen. It is possible for you to run a six-figure company. That's actually possible. You know, it's possible for you to run a network or a chain of like hairdressing shops. It's possible for you to be a motivational speaker full time. You know, I was watching what's his name, Tony Robbins the other day. You know, I was curious because I've heard about him obviously many times before. I've read one of his books. I forgot what it was called. This was like a couple of years ago. But I've actually never taken time to really get into him, so I thought, let me actually, so I spent like a good hour, 2 hours on him. And like, he's worth like 10 billion, and he's just a speaker. But know what's mad these days? Anytime you meet a friend who's like, oh yeah, you're asking what you do, and he's like, I'm a motivational speaker, you're kind of like, get a job. We've all been guilty of that, of meeting a friend that's like, yeah, you know, I want to be a motivational speaker, and you're kind of like, listen bro, get a job, kind of thing. But why should he get a job? He can actually be, like, he could be a Tony Robbins, or if not bigger. This guy is worth 10, I think, odd billion dollars, which, I mean, I'm sure he has like investments and stuff like that, but come predominantly from him speaking to people and empowering them. Like, it's possible. And I think what we need to understand is that there's actually so much out there that's for us, but negativity will stop us from getting there. There is so much we can grab, we can get, we can, you know, really kind of take from the world. But if we're negative, we don't get to do that. And because of, say, social media and all these other things, tools that people use, we've built up this narrative in our heads, which causes us to enjoy nursing pain and nursing, you know, absconded dreams and failed projects. Just like, you know, just think about them, and we rehearse it over and over again, man. And that's a problem, man. That's a big, big problem. Because whilst you're lying down in bed, you know, sad or feeling like you can't do something, there are other people who are going for it. I was going to say securing the bag, but I don't know what that actually means. I've just heard people say it. So in an attempt to be cool, go secure your bag. Could be a terrible thing, but it sounds like a good thing. So yeah, whatever. You know, so that's my thing, is that's why I think it happens. And if we're gonna, at the end of this video, genuinely have a separation from negativity, you have to first understand that or accept to some degree that you enjoy nursing that pain. You enjoy that kind of thing in your head, lying down with it, and that's a big issue. That's a massive issue, and that's very important to first come to terms with, because when you come to terms with that, you can start dealing with the root issue. Now, I could have just done a quick video and just given you like 10 tips to overcome, you know, negativity. But again, it doesn't really deal with the root issue, which is this enjoyment and this preoccupation we have with negativity in the first instance, where we kind of enjoy just spending time with it. It's not good for our mental health when we hold negativity in. When we rehearse it, we become depressed. Depression is essentially worrying, but when worrying becomes habitual. And when you worry all the time, and it's what you do in your spare time, is just worry about different things, you start becoming more prone to depression. So it's important, it's super important for you to understand that it's not good, negativity. It leads to weight gain, dramatic weight gain, or dramatic weight loss. A lot of people who deal with that stuff typically tend to be negative people in their minds. And I'm not talking about getting you smiling like all the time. I'm talking about you being actually well. You know, that's super important. Any business leader that can't kind of work themselves out, their business will eventually fail. You know, a fish rots from the head downwards. And it's the same way when we don't take care of ourselves as leaders or project leaders, or, you know, whatever role you have at work. If you don't take care of yourself, generally, you will rot downwards, or the organization will rot down. That sounds so negative, but you get what I'm trying to say. Cool. So here are some key ways I think we can actually overcome this negativity thing. Very practical ways, I think. One is spend less time with negative people. It's so important that you draw yourself back from people who you've identified a similar trait in. You know, if you know somebody who's always talking about how hard life is, and they're always doing the victim mentality thing, they're always talking like seeing the bad in other people, always complain, like, spend less time with them. I'm not saying get rid of them, delete the number, no, it's not that deep. But you definitely need to spend less time with them. You need to detox yourself. If you want to overcome something, remember we're talking about, it's a pattern of living, negativity. It's a system of living. So it's important for you to in the first instance, detox yourself. Push some people away, spend some time alone where you can kind of get your mind right, and you're ready to approach them again. Stop feeling less guilty. No, that doesn't make sense. Feel less guilty, especially when you do that. It is not bad. You're not cheapening them. You're just spending more time trying to work on yourself. That's all it is. And if that's what you have to tell them, you tell them that. But it's super important that you draw away from people who are negative. You know what it does? It gives them time to also work on their negativity. Let them know. Let them know. But one thing you can't do is together try and become less negative. It's just difficult because you don't know their commitment level. It makes more sense for you to spend time alone sorting this thing out. You got to reprogram your mind. You got to understand that things do work out. You know, it is possible for you to roll 2 double sixes. Like, it's possible. And I know that so much of the world tells us it's not, but you have to understand that it is. There's many people I can start listing who it was improbable that they would become who they are now, but they are who they are. There's no point in going through names, but you get the gist. You have to make a commitment to yourself that, hey, I'm going to reprogram my mind and get my mind right, especially in this specific sense. Another thing is you've got to be more thankful. Say thank you more. Say thank you more. When people do stuff, just say thank you. Thank you. Practice gratitude. Let gratitude become something that's in your heart. Connected to that, celebrate more small wins. You know, okay, let's say you have a massive project and the end goal is to, you know, get 5 business sponsors, or to get 5 kind of, you know, 5 partners for the business, or 5 directors, whatever it is. You know, celebrate every time you meet a potentially good candidate or potential. That's just a very small win. They haven't signed any documents yet. They haven't paid any money. Like, we're not there yet. But celebrate the small win that, hey, I've got someone. Like, just celebrate that. Start celebrating small wins. If you're a student, celebrate. You know, you got to a lecture on time. Celebrate. Now, don't celebrate by like having a lie in the next day and missing another lecture. I mean, just celebrating that, you know, just have a drink, you know, buy yourself a chocolate bar, whatever. It's just have a habit of celebrating your small wins. because that starts to build a pattern in you, a pattern of positivity, which is what we need to kind of get rid of, a pattern of negativity. Another thing people ought to do, and this is probably my biggest one, is rather than trying to solve their negativity by being positive, because negativity typically it's a pattern of behavior, you need to usurp it with another pattern. So doing one positive act doesn't mean, oh, now I'm suddenly not negative anymore. No, you need to build habits. It's got to be a habitual thing. Build habits of positivity in your life, and that will make things a bit better. Say the word love more. Say the word love more. A lot of negative people tend to shy away from big expressions of, like, you know, gratitude or affection. So break that cycle and say the word love more. I love that you do this for me. I love that. I love the way you're this. I love that. Like, start saying that, and again, your heart kind of starts to break out of that mold, that kind of stony mold it's in. Typically, when you're kind of always negative, it breaks out of it and starts beating again, and that's what you need. Human interaction. You need human connection. You need affection. That's what is an antidote, antidote to negativity. All right. And lastly, what I would like to do, set people a challenge. You know, it's so much easier to find the bad in stuff. Honestly, it's so easy. When people talk, it's so easy to spot someone who doesn't know what they're talking about. You're just like, now when someone's trying to be funny, it's so easy to be like, that's just not funny. You know, it's so easy to, like, when someone tells you their business plan for the first time, it's so easy to be like, that's so crap. Like, that's so easy. But what I want to set us a challenge in doing is, rather than quickly and being very quick to spot problems and issues with people's ideas, wouldn't it be beautiful if we could elevate our thinking and actually start finding good in things? It's much harder to find good. Everyone can admit that. So when someone tells you their business idea and you're thinking, stop that feeling and ask yourself, what's good about this idea? What's great about it? What can make it work? No, you know, what's good about this person? Even though they're annoying as heck and they're cracking all these dead jokes, what's good about them? Like, if we can rehearse that muscle in us and start getting better at that, then before you know it, you're able to fight off negativity and you're going the extra mile for positivity. And that's important. Now, will this rid your life of every negative thought? No, because it's healthy. It's healthy to be negative here and there. Of course it is. What we're talking about here is a pattern. It's a pattern of behavior where you're constantly, you know, reveling in bad news and staying around, you know, this kind of victim mentality thing. That's what we're talking about. So there's virtue in finding good, and I just want to encourage us to do that. Find good in things. Work harder to see good in people. Don't just rubbish them in your head really quickly. Instead, go the extra mile and try and find some good in them. That's it. I'm wearing shorts, by the way, in case you're wondering what's going on. That's it. That's it. If it's your first time here, of course, subscribe. Please do. It's good to see the channel grow. So more people can hear this stuff and be made better. If you've been watching me by now, I hope you know me. I've got like a good 60-something videos out. Like, I'm not a YouTuber. I'm not a kind of, hey guys, welcome to. I'm not into it. You know that. But what I do want to do is use this platform to help people. So my desire is that if you're still watching now, you've seen this video and it's going to actually help you overcome something in your life that you can then use in your kind of wider world to be more confident, to be more affirmative, and to essentially just dominate wherever it is you're in. So that's my real intention. So do subscribe, turn on the notification bells and if you can do, leave a comment. I love engaging with people. So yeah, please leave a comment so we can engage. And yeah, what's the last thing you're meant to do? The like button as well. As you can see, I'm very tired, so I'm probably gonna go to bed. But what can I say? Yeah, hit the like button as well if you haven't done so already. And share this video. That's a lot of stuff, gosh. But the most important thing is to subscribe and to share. I think that's what I'm really interested in, so you can always be a part of the video releasing. But yeah, no. Next up is a vlog on Wednesday. Oh my god, I haven't vlogged in so long. But yeah, this vlog is coming out on Wednesday, on Sunday. Oh god, I'm tired. On Sunday, and the vlog essentially is, yeah, like check out something called Tough Mudder. a member of our team, TCS Network, which is a news network that I look after, did it. So I vlogged the whole process. It's so funny. You're gonna enjoy it. But yeah, no, that's on Sunday. All right, guys. Oh God, I don't know how to say bye. Take care. I'm so tired.
I love the looks of you, the lure of you, the sweet of you, the pure